Hey guys, what's happening? So we're back for more Peter David's Symbiot Spider-Man 2099, where now we've come to the point where Miguel O'Hara is one tragedy away from being like, you know what? Maybe killing is okay. So let's get into it. But first, if you're enjoying these videos, make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and don't forget to hit that bell up top to get all notifications so we can squad up in the comments for the first hour. Alright, so coming back, we pick up not long after Miguel O'Hara and Kron Stone, the Spider-Man and Venom of 2099, chase the Vulture out of the Sanctum Sanctorum. And it's really one of those things where the Vulture 2099, he was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. Cause like we saw, after the Sorcerer Supreme left, Vulture snuck into the Sanctum, thinking he was just gonna grab whatever he wanted and go on his way, but little did he know he was gonna run into Symbiote Spider-Man 2099 at the start of his villain arc. So yeah, Vulture trying to get away, this is him recognizing that he's in over his head. But as he tries to leave, Miguel webs him up, only for Vulture to cut that off and more or less tell Spider-Man like, hey, you think you can hold me? Only for Miguel to follow up with a yeah, I do, as he wraps his webbing around Vulture, so he can't cut him this time. And there's too much for him to break out, so he goes plummeting to the ground, which now has Miguel like, man, that was easy. Wonder why I didn't do this sooner. So mind you, this whole time Venom's watching like, oh yeah, this is great. Evil is good. Because he wants Miguel, who he recently discovered is his half-brother, to join him as a symbiote-infused cold-blooded killer. So eventually the Spider-Man and Venom 2099 of this world can become this unstoppable duo. And so far it's been working, because ever since Miguel's taken on this new symbiote, it's been trying to nudge him down the darker path. But right now with Vulture plummeting towards his death and Miguel riding along so he can more or less just see it up close, he's now got the Vulture begging for his life and saying things like, you're no killer, you're not like me, you're better than me. There, I said it, please, I don't want to die. So for a moment here, Miguel's like, okay, well how many of your victims say that? And Vulture just screams, all of them. So Miguel just leaves him in gravity's hands as the Vulture goes plummeting down into a last minute portal. Or better yet, last second. Cause just now, Jeannie, Strange 2099, the Sorcerer Supreme, made it back just in time to stop Spider-Man from committing murder. And for a moment here, she tells him that she barely even recognizes him anymore, cause that's not something the Spider-Man she knows would do. So he tells her the Vulture was a murdering cannibal. The world is better off without him. Which, I mean, it's kind of hard to argue with that point because, I mean, it's kind of valid. But Strange just lets him know that it's more so the fact that he doesn't get to decide who lives and who dies. And for a moment here, she tells him she'll stop him if she has to. So Miguel tells her he'd like to see her try, just before attempting to grab her. But his symbiote just goes right through her. Because once again, she's not trying to get too close to him or Venom. With her real physical body, it's too dangerous. And this is the reason why. Because just now, Symbiote Spider-Man just tried to kill her. And she even calls him out on it, while asking him, am I no different from Vulture? Am I a cannibalistic villain too? And the crazy thing about it is Miguel's just like, so? You attacked me first. Which is definitely not true. But it just goes to show how far gone Miguel is with everything that's happening. But in the middle of this conversation, Venom tries to get a sneak hit on Strange, which of course does not work because it's just her astral projection, or better yet in this case, just an illusion, since it's meant to look like she's there. So it sends Venom or Kron running right into Miguel. And when he gets back up, he tells Miguel like, hey, let's just go ahead and raid the Sanctum. But as soon as he tries to, he runs right into the protection barrier, only to then see the real Strange inside. So he's just banging on the barrier while telling her she can't keep him out. So she tells him, pretty sure I can, bye-bye, just before slamming the door. And it's pretty funny seeing Kron's frustration here because he's just like, God, I hate her. But for a moment here, when Kron goes to check on Miguel, you can tell that Miguel has thought about some of what Strange has said. But instead of trying to stick around and go after her, Miguel just tells Kron that they should just go and start some trouble topside. So the two of them leave while Strange is inside sweating behind the door like, man, Venom had me scared, but I held my own, shocked that. And following this, we head over to Gabriel O'Hara, Miguel's younger half-brother, who at this point in time is getting an unexpected visit from none other than President Doom, who we knew was going to make his way into the middle of this at some point, and I mean even before the cliffhanger from the last issue. But with President Doom making his way here to speak with Gabriel O'Hara, he first apologizes for his men destroying the front door, so he tells Gabriel he'll pay for that, which most likely will come from the taxpayers' money. But following this, Doom quickly goes into the reason behind why he's here, cause like we saw, Strange went to Doom to get his help with Symbiote Spider-Man. So now with Doom coming to see Gabriel, Doom tells him Spider-Man is your brother. So Gabriel tries to act like this is a surprise to him, but unfortunately he's a terrible liar. Cause not only did Doom know that Miguel's Spider-Man, but he also knew that Gabriel knew, and for Doom, knowing Spider-Man's true identity, it's just the tip of the iceberg as far as what else he knows about Spider-Man. But he goes on to tell Gabriel here the reason why he's come is because he wants Gabriel to stop Symbiote Spider-Man. Meanwhile, when we jump back over to Kron and Miguel, who are currently riding a symbiote T-Rex out of a museum, cause as it stands, there's really no plan. Kron just wants to cause chaos with his newfound symbiote brother and more or less just make this up as they go. But there's a moment here when Kron, who's in control of this thing, nearly kills a public eye officer, and the dude bails off his glider, opens his parachute, and Kron cuts that too. And I mean, fortunately he's saved by another officer, but for Miguel, when he sees this, it bothers the part of him that's still trying to hold on and do the right thing. So for a moment here, Kron tells him that he thought Miguel was over the whole no killing weakness. So Miguel tells him it's not a weakness, don't you get that? And he just stops right there, like why bother? Cause clearly Kron doesn't get it. So Miguel takes off to get a moment so he can think. And when he does, Miguel describes it like he's going off to be by himself to think and sort out his own thoughts. But now that he's bonded with this symbiote, it's more of a conversation that happens here. Cause the symbiote asks him what is it that he needs to think about. So Miguel tells it that he's trying to figure out what he wants out of this quote unquote fusion between the two of them. So the symbiote's like, you already had it. Didn't that fight with the Vulture feel glorious? So Miguel's like, it felt great. Too great. Which right there has the symbiote like, how can something feel too great? That doesn't make any sense. So right there you can just tell. This symbiote has a lot to learn as far as the difference between what's good and what's bad. But there's a moment here where the symbiote tells Miguel about himself and he doesn't like it. Cause the symbiote tells him, you know what your problem is? You think you don't deserve greatness or happiness. Face it, you know you were happy running Alchemax, but you felt you hadn't earned it, didn't deserve it. Which right there just falls in line with what we saw in the old series written by Peter David. Cause at the time we were told that Miguel was overwhelmed with everything he had to do, being both Spider-Man and Miguel O'Hara, CEO of Alchemax. But one of his biggest complaints at the time, with everyone at Alchemax coming to him for the answers, Miguel always felt like his solutions weren't good enough. But had he just accepted that role and put his foot down, then he wouldn't have been going back and forth with everyone and jumping on the desk. Which, you know, it's easier said than done, but now the symbiote's pitching this idea that it's more of a thing of confidence. Cause if Miguel felt like, or at least believed that he was supposed to be there, then he would have been able to operate more effectively. Which again, easier said than done. But with the symbiote dropping this truth bomb on him, Miguel just tells it to shut up, only to then hear a voice from the side say, is this a bad time? And lo and behold, it's his little brother Gabriel, who's more or less come here to talk some sense into Miguel. And keep in mind, prior to this, the two of them haven't had the best relationship, and it's really more so the case of Gabriel not wanting to have anything to do with Miguel. And I mean, with Miguel sleeping with his girl, it'll do that. But on the flip side, Miguel, he's happy to see Gabriel because he's wanted things to be better between the two of them since forever. So with Gabe showing up here, he tells Miguel that their mom let him know about Stone and Miguel being brothers. So for a moment here, the conversation sounds like what seems to be the first step towards the two of these guys making things right. And Gabe even goes on to tell Miguel that he's got to get rid of this Venom thing, because if he doesn't, it'll take him over. But Gabriel stops right in the middle of his sentence after being stabbed through the back by Stone, who right after just flings Gabriel off to the side like he's nothing. And Kron goes on to tell Miguel this is something he had to do because Gabriel was going to stop Miguel from becoming what he needed to become. And I'm pretty sure part of that was a bit of jealousy too, with Kron being an only child, in addition to the way he reacted when he asked Miguel if he had other siblings. So yeah, Kron was waiting for this opportunity. But right here with Kron telling Miguel how he thought Gabe was going to stop Miguel from becoming what he needed to become, Miguel looks at him and tells him, you mean a killer, right? A stone cold killer? Well, guess what, Kron? You got your wish. Cause now Symbiote Spider-Man 2099, he's ready to kill. And I mean, he was ready before, but now he's ready. And so now real quick, I want to give a special shout out to all the patrons. Thank you guys for all of your support. And for anyone who's new here, who wants more information on how to support the channel, I got a link below where you can go to patreon.com/dopespill. But that'll do it for this one, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and we'll do it again on the next one. Alright, later.